Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Christian Hanna Horror here today. Today we're going to be talking about the new Kino Lorber 4K, Silence of the Lambs. Of course, just a few words about Silence of the Lambs. To me, this is the best movie of the 90s. I mean, period. Not even horror movie. I think it's probably one of the, if not one of the best movies of the 90s, period. Yes, and especially horror. I'll take it over Candyman. I'll take it over Scream, Seven. You name it. Silence beats it. That's just my opinion. I think this is, not only that, probably one of the greatest horror movies ever. You know, this movie falls under that weird thing of, it's not a horror, it's a thriller. You know, and it's not really horror fans that say that so much as just like normies that want to, it's like, that expression is somewhat used to say, don't demean that movie by calling it a horror film. Are you kidding me? If Silence of the Lambs is not a horror film, then half of the stuff I watch isn't horror films either. I think it's ridiculous. Just because the movie is, you know, so well made and has these really great elements to it with these great actors, that means it's not horror? My God. Anyway, Silence of the Lambs, one of the greatest. Anthony Hopkins with the greatest performance ever. You know, obviously a few standout scenes in this movie. When Clarice first goes to see Lecter, that walk towards his cell, breathtaking. I remember just getting, every time I see it, I'm like, oh God, here we go. It's one of those moments in films that you just can't let it go. It's so burned in my brain and my memory, and the way he's standing there. Now, initially, I think he was supposed to be laying down, which is I think is how it is in the book, and I think he actually does that in Red Dragon when the guy goes up to him, but in this movie, he had told Demi, he was like, I need to be standing up and being ready for her. He's like, why? Because if this guy is as keen as you say he is, he can smell her walking towards him. And I was like, oh man, that's creepy. Another thing, he doesn't blink his eyes at all the entire time you see him in the cell. That's creepy. I mean, he's a scary looking individual in this movie. You know, he pulls it off so well. I mean, it's the greatest performance possibly ever in a horror film. I mean, if it's not this, it's Jack Nicholson in The Shining to me. But I think Hopkins just did the greatest thing I've ever seen. So the thing about Silence of the Lambs is, I've got a rich history with this film on home video. Here's my Laserdisc of Silence of the Lambs from Image. Not a bad release of the film. I've got some DVDs. I've got a DVD. I've got a regular Blu-ray of it. This release right here was like the one I got maybe about a year ago, the Criterion collection, which I am going to say right now, if you have this, do not get rid of it, or you might not even want to upgrade. I'll talk to you about it. Now, I personally am so thrilled that I did get this. I wish they would have picked one. I know that this was a poster. This might have been a poster too, where they mixed it, but I actually would have been happy if they'd have gone with a red Lecter face. But regardless, that's neither here or there, really. But this is the Kino Lorber 4K release, 4K UHD of Silence of the Lambs. Let's talk about picture quality right off the top. This is a boutique-ish label, Kino Lorber. I guess we could consider them a boutique too, right? Picture quality, literally, without question, without hesitation, without fear, without the lack of... just knowing that I could be recommending this to somebody. Is this the best picture quality that this film has ever seen? 150,000% yes. It is literally taking 4K, revving up the engines, and going at full blast at what the format can do. They got the original elements. They completely restored every single inch of the frame of the movie, and this is what I'm talking about. That beautiful, beautiful film grain is ever present in here. There is such a thickness. Like, I talk about 4K, and when it's done extremely properly right, there is almost this 3D thickness to the image. When we get the shot of Jodie Foster running up the hill in the beginning while she's doing her police training, you can see the dirt. You can see the crevices in the dirt and the grass, and you can literally feel her walking towards the camera as she's getting bigger and bigger, and you can see the mass of her actual human mass. Remarkable how good film, real film, looks when you're seeing it as properly as you're supposed to. I mean, there's really nothing like it. Digital is just, it's not there yet to replicate to replicate this, because after all, digital video is supposed to be replicating, it's supposed to be simplifying the process of making film and replicating the look of actual film, right? Maybe not, that's the way I perceive it, but this is what it's all about. I mean, this image is outstanding. Probably one of the best 4Ks I've ever seen, without question. Obviously, when you get to the scenes of Lecter, you remember the close-up of his face while he's talking to her, and you see his eyes, and you look like a rube, all that stuff. Like, when you get all up on his face, crystal clear. I mean, it's scary how good it is. So when it comes to 4Ks, put this in the top 5 that I've ever owned of actual picture quality. Ridiculous. You know, it's interesting that Kino Lorber seems to be getting their hands on a bunch of properties. You know, they just picked this up from Criterion. They've got Invasion of the Body Snatchers 78 from Scream Factory, which people are telling me to pick that up, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do that because I like that movie a lot. Jeff Goldblum's in that movie, and I'm sure the picture quality is going to be great. Kino is a class company. They do fantastic releases of great films, and restorations are without question going to be the best. So here's the downside. I guess downside. Am I going to get rid of my Criterion Collection Blu-ray? No way in hell. First of all, this is a great release. Is the picture quality great on this? Of course. I mean, look, 4K digital restoration approved by Tak Fujimoto with 2.0 surround sound, director of photography. Does it look amazing? You betcha. But when you put them together, I feel like on YouTube, if you're watching a video that's like at 480p, you're watching a 480p video, and then all of a sudden you go to swap to 1080p, all of a sudden it'll go whoosh, and it'll get really crisp and clear. It's that good. That's how good the 4K is. But this is an amazing picture quality. Do not sleep on this release either. This release has way more special features. I mean, there's stuff on here that's just not on this. This has some special features, but it's not chock full of it. Audio commentary by film historian Tim Lucas, Inside the Labyrinth documentary, Page to Screen documentary, Understanding the Madness featurette, Scaring the Silence featurette, 1991 making of, Jonathan Demme and Jodie Foster interviews, deleted scenes, outtakes, Anthony Hopkins phone message, TV spots, teaser, and trailer. So the Criterion obviously is going to have a lot of special features that are exclusive onto itself, and it's a great release. I love this release. It's amazing. But when I wanted to see this movie, I love this movie. I watch it frequently. I wanted the absolute best picture quality imaginable. I don't remember this being too expensive. I think it was actually a fairly priced 4K, relatively fairly priced. Comes with a Blu-ray as well. So if you don't have this, I highly recommend this. If you do have this and you're a fan that wants to see the movie with the absolute best picture quality you can see, hands down, without question, go ahead and get the Kino. But that's something you need to decide for yourself. You know, if you're really happy with this and you think, you know what, this is as good as I need it to be, awesome. But if you want to see it in the absolute best picture quality imaginable, the 4K for Kino is great. Just know that this has special features that are still onto just itself, that not everything was ported over here, which if that's going to make this more of a budget price, give or take that's something that the consumer needs to figure out. But me, I will say picture quality, this is the heavyweight champion of the world with Silence of the Lambs. Nothing touches it. I love my Laserdisc, but you know, I'm not going to watch that too much more often. It's going to be this one. It's going to be this one for picture quality. So, but this one has great special features, just a heads up again. So I will give the picture quality on this a perfect 5. A perfect 5 stars. It deserves it. Audio is fantastic. Everything about this release, just they killed the picture quality. It's amazing. So Silence of the Lambs, one of the greatest movies ever made, one of the greatest horror movies ever made. Let me know if you have picked this release up from Kino Lorber. I got mine at Best Buy. If not, let me know this video entices you to pick up Silence of the Lambs, and just your thoughts on the movie. I think it's one of the greatest ever, without question, without any hesitation. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. Thank you guys for watching this video. My name is Christian Hanna Horror. Enjoy your movies, and we'll see you guys very, very soon.